I actually have some good news to start with today. We have been sort of worried that not enough people in the United States, in other countries as well, but we've been looking at the numbers in the United States, that not enough people in the US would want the coronavirus vaccine, which would make it really difficult to get to the herd immunity that is necessary for life to really start going back to normal in the context of the pandemic. But the good news is that every single week, the percentage of Americans that want the vaccine and plan to get the vaccine and would accept the vaccine were it made available to them is going up. And that's excellent. That number is now at 71%. 71% of Americans say they would get the vaccine. And remember that just months ago, only 40% of Americans wanted it, and that crept up to 50%, 60, 63% about a month and a half ago. And that number is now at 71%. And the poll that shows 71% is from before Joe Biden and Dr. Anthony Fauci received their first doses over the last 36 to 48 hours, which hopefully will push interest in getting the vaccine up even further. Now, the 27% that remain hesitant about this vaccine, there's a few characteristics. These are a few different groups. So those who remain vaccine skeptical are disproportionately Republicans, disproportionately those 30 to 49, and disproportionately people who live rurally, and disproportionately Black American, who are the most vaccine hesitant groups. Now, the reasons why each of these groups is hesitant about the vaccine differ. Some of the primary reasons are fear of side effects, fear that the vaccine is too new, which can mean a lot of different things, but that's the way they described it. And among Black Americans, the primary reasons for coronavirus vaccine hesitancy are general distrust of vaccines and concerns that one could get coronavirus from the coronavirus vaccine. Now, in terms of states, this is not super surprising, but there's some interesting data points here. Based on data from the IHME from a few days ago, the states where residents most want the vaccine are Vermont, New York, Minnesota, Washington State, California, Hawaii, Virginia, and Colorado, followed closely by sort of the rest of the Northeast states, plus North Carolina and a few others. Now, on the other side of this, the states where residents least want the vaccine, at the absolute bottom of the list, are Mississippi, Arkansas, and Wisconsin. Now, I'm guessing that there are particulars about why Wisconsin is there. I don't know if maybe Wisconsin has a number of different religious groups and sects there. I don't know if there's one that is overwhelmingly anti-vaccine. I'd be interested in knowing more about that. But Mississippi, Arkansas, and Wisconsin are the states least interested in the coronavirus vaccine, followed by a number of states like Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, Ohio, Indiana, Oklahoma, Kansas. So there's quite a long list in sort of that lower but not lowest range. So bottom line, it's good that the numbers are up to 71%. I do want to remind you the vaccine is not going to be given to kids anytime soon. So when we talk about 70% for herd immunity, we're talking about the whole country. So 71% of adults wanting and getting the vaccine eventually doesn't get us to 70% of the entire country. We still would not be at herd immunity, but these are the best numbers we've had since the start of this thing, and that's good. The public campaigns to say, I got the vaccine, and people posting pictures on Facebook and social media, Dr. Fauci getting the vaccine, et cetera, that does seem to be working because getting a vaccine in the abstract before anybody's getting it is not likely to appeal to as many people as getting the vaccine that my 12 nurse friends got and posted on Facebook about. And that's certainly helping. Now, as of this morning, 777,000 Americans have received the first dose of the vaccine. That's 0.23% of the U.S. population. It's a start. But again, unless we ramp up the number of vaccines going out and being used to inoculate people every week goes up, It's going to take a while. It's going to be a process. Now, in terms of more vaccines, remember that currently in the U.S., there's the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine and the Moderna vaccines that have been approved. The Moderna vaccine is just now starting to be given to people. And then we have the AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine close to possible approval. And then behind that, you've got the Novavax and Johnson vaccines moving ahead, pending results. So in the end, whatever the polls say, start distributing it, get it to people, keep the process moving forward, and we'll keep evaluating month to month and really week to week. Now, an important note, and I don't understand this yet. I've seen the data. I haven't interpreted the data. Even though states have now, it's been several days, and in fact, more than that, since states received their first shipments. Many states have only so far actually used 10 to 15% of the vaccines that they've received. Now, I express concern that we don't want to see lots of vaccines just sitting around and not being used. And a lot of this is getting the logistics up and running, and I understand that. But over time, if we are seeing that states are sitting on a bunch of vaccine with lack of clarity or execution in terms of actually getting it to people, that will be a concern, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But the urgency can't be exaggerated. Another 3,400 people died yesterday of the virus. Absolutely tragic numbers. Hey, take a minute to check out our sponsor. It's called Just Egg. Many of you know that over the years, I've made my diet more plant-based for a variety of reasons. I've always loved eggs, and Just Egg is a great way to take a food many of us love, but make it a plant-based version. Just Egg has all the protein of eggs, but it's made from mung beans, so it uses 98% less water and causes 93% fewer carbon emissions than a conventional egg. Just Egg cooks and tastes exactly like a conventional egg. I've tried it for omelets, scrambled eggs, French toast, banana bread, pad thai even. Anything you'd normally use eggs for. I actually think if I cooked something for a friend without telling them about Just Egg, they wouldn't even know the difference. You can find it in the egg aisle at your grocery store or on Amazon Prime Now or Instacart. They also have a frozen version, which is perfect for breakfast sandwiches. Just Egg. Check it out.